All's good, right, Chris? All right, awesome. Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the studio here at the Element Group. My name is Nate Baldasaro. I'm the co-founder. And I should say, because I know we have some folks from the West Coast and a couple of friends of ours from Hawaii joining. So good morning to you, and thank you very much for getting up early and jumping on today's webinar. We greatly appreciate it, and we appreciate your support. I'm excited to share Amplifi, which is our promotional marketing division with you. And kind of more importantly, why we decided to kind of add this to the list of products and services that we do as a company. So I'm going to just share my screen here and pull up a presentation for you. One second. Okay, so one of the things, if you're familiar with our company, and some of you may not be, but we design, develop, and build out branch environments for community banks and credit unions. We also do digital signage. We also do touchscreen integration and all of those sorts of things. And when we look to kind of complete the choreography in the branch and help our customers, promotional products was something that we felt very strongly about because it's about creating engagement with prospects, current customers, members, and even your own employees. So first of all, we were in just thinking about a name for this kind of organization. The end result is we're always trying to extend your brand, especially outside the four walls. And how do we do that? Again, with effective promotional marketing, but to create conversations. And just like this webinar here today, most of the people that signed up, I've never met before. We haven't done business with your organization. But if we don't ever have a conversation, we'll probably never do business together. So this is kind of that first step. And hopefully some of you will hear what we're doing and want to hear more. Then it will have been a successful kind of entry into this field, so to speak. But again, that definition of to make larger or greater as an importance, amount, importance, and intensity is something that we work very hard to do. Just a couple of quick housekeeping things so we're all in alignment as to what's going to happen here over the next 25 minutes or so. And to that point, the webinar will be just about 25 minutes, give or take one or two. All participants will be muted except myself and Molly, who you'll see at the end of the webinar, who will be giving away the grand prize. If you have any questions or comments, there's a Q&A function down at the bottom. You can certainly click into that and we'll answer all of those questions at the end of the presentation. We're also going to be sending everybody in here just a nice little thank you kit for, again, participating, for hearing what we have to say. Again, it's always nice when people we don't know join these things and learn a little bit more about us and what we do. The other thing that you'll all be getting is basically a $500 voucher. So I know we've got some current clients that are on this webinar, and we have most of the folks are brand new. But if you like what you hear and you'd like to give us a test drive, so to speak, we're going to knock $500 off your first order of $1,000 just to see the process, how it works, and whether this might be a right solution for you as well. And then all of you, when you registered for this, selected a Yeti cooler of your choice. So at the end of here, when Molly does the scratch off for the winner, we'll have that. But what we would like you to do is this QR code is up now, and it will be up on about 5 or 6 other slides. If you have your phone, if you can scan it, it's just going to ask for your first name, last name, and email. And that way you'll be registered for the live drawing here today. If you don't have a phone with you, just add your name into the chat function down below, and we'll make sure that it's added in before the end of the webinar here today. And lastly, this is being recorded. So either end of day today or tomorrow, this will be sent out. And if you ever want to watch again or share it with somebody else. So you will be receiving that. But the first question we get asked sometimes is, why did we jump into this space, right? Why do we do what we do? And as I mentioned earlier, our company works exclusively with community banks and credit unions. And we're always trying to figure out how do we make them more effective and efficient against much larger competitors. And most of you know, since COVID, the large banks, the really large banks, grew exponentially. And it's something that I don't think is good for our industry. They dominate the deposit base. When you're looking at just banks alone, there are 4,500 banks in the United States. 15 of them represent 75% of all deposits. And I would like to think that there are millions and millions of customers with those big banks that are probably disgruntled, aren't really getting value, but aren't quite sure what to do. So again, when we start talking about promotional opportunities, it's how do we create engagement? right? How do we get conversations started with somebody who isn't pleased where they are, but they're just, maybe complacent and don't want to make that jump or think it's going to be too hard. So we certainly feel that, excuse me, promotional is a great way to do that. And then we know we can extend those budgets and hopefully improve your ROI. We also know that when promotional products are used correctly, it is one of the most effective forms of marketing. And what's also nice is that the consumer likes promotional marketing the best of all forms of marketing, which would make sense because they're usually getting something for free, a gift with purchase, a purchase with purchase. So I think we have to say, we've already got enthusiasm for this type of marketing. How do we get better at it? And how do we be more successful at those things that we use? So when we decided to go down this path, we knew we just didn't want to be another, pen and mug sales company. There's plenty of them out there. You probably know, each of you probably have 10 people knocking on your door for this type of business. So we wanted to create a full suite of products that any one of our clients could use all of these bullet points. They could just use, hey, you got great pricing, so that's wonderful. But in theory, we said it would be nice to develop turnkey products and programs as best we can that help mirror the branch layout and design that we're doing, that help mirror the choreography, that help mirror the KPIs that our institutions are looking to hit and to be able to track these things. So I'm going to go through these 5 bullet points here just fairly quickly, but to give you an idea of what each one of these are and why we initiated them. And at the end of the day, we're trying to create unique moments, right? Memorable things that happen, whether in a physical branch or out and about, that get noticed, remembered, and thought about later on. So for anybody who's ever purchased promotional products before, you may have heard the phrase end quantity pricing. And quite frankly, that is when you look at a price list, the price on the far right side, which tends to be the lowest price, is what's known as end quantity price. So that's great if you're a large institution or you're making a one-time large purchase of something. But the reality is for our customer base, which ranges between a single branch and 50 or 60 branches, aren't always buying in large quantities. And although that's the way of the world, we didn't think it was right. We wanted to bring some leverage and some efficiencies and help to be more effective. So anytime our banks and credit unions work with us, they will always receive that end quantity price. So in this little example, if they just a client needs 100 of these cotton totes, the regular price would be about $873, give or take, depending on maybe your relationship with a current partner. What we're going to do is say, no problem, that 100, we're going to price that as if it's end quantity price, as if you're buying 2,500. So instead of $873, you're at $499, or savings of about 42%. So this will happen on anything that we put in front of somebody for an estimate or a quote. But we also think now you have some leverage to do something. You're saving 43% or 42%. So you might say, well, that's wonderful. In this particular instance, I'm going to put that back in our pocket and we'll use those dollars later on for something else in marketing or advertising. You may also say, well, geez, we save 42%. Why don't we, instead of 100, why don't we get 160 or 170 of these items and extend the promotion to more people? That's another thought. Or, you know what? Why don't we, instead of a $9 tote, let's go get a $15 tote, create more value, and it may represent the brand of your organization better than something, less costly. So, our job is to try to help, create the best promotions based on the needs in the things that you're trying to achieve. And obviously, a lot of cases now that's cross-selling new members and new customers. So we want to take those savings, be as creative as we can, and make sure we reach as big of an audience as we can as well. And I should say, I talk a lot about customers and members, but a lot of promotional products are used internally to attract talent, attract employees, recognition, and things like that. So again, lots of ways to save money and maybe be a little more creative. After all, we're in financial services where a little creativity goes a long way to stand out in a crowded marketplace. The next item is creative services. And this is something that I would say most of our customers have marketing teams. The problem is most of them are stretched very thin. Most marketers are out there doing a lot of work for all different parts of the organization. And even if they want to create some really fun and intricate marketing, sometimes they just don't have the time. So just know that if that's the case, we have a team of graphic designers here at Element, whether it's just representing your logo, translating your logo into fun other ideas, gift packaging, year-end gifts, staff awards, things like that. And 802 Credit Union, which is right here in Vermont, a good friend of ours, Jamie, we've done some wonderful things with them, and they've got a nice fun brand, and they've allowed us the opportunity to get pretty creative with it. So know that we have the talent in-house to help with any of those things. The other item that we offer, kind of the third bullet, is digital services. Some of you may know, as part of our design, build, and creating new environments, we also provide digital signage and touchscreen integration. Currently have about 2,500 displays out around the United States and varying community banks and credit unions. And we really think it's an underused medium. So again, if we're going to run a promotion, whether that's an internal or external promotion, how do we get that onto the digital screens? And again, it can also be used in social media, your website, in other digital channels. But oftentimes we don't see these things talking together. The promotion kind of lives by itself in a vacuum, and it doesn't get the attention sometimes that we would like to create. So I'm going to just play this very quick clip. This was something that was done for Hawaii State Federal Credit Union. And in a few minutes here, I'll share the case study of this. But at the end of the day, we want to be able to catch people's attention, let them know that there is some opportunity here. If we can, collect data so we can get smarter about what people are reacting to. And you'll see later in this case study, they told us exactly what their next product they might be interested in and how we can go out and market back to them. So for the price of a cooler and some follow-up Yeti cups, you'll see we got thousands of new members in cross-sell opportunities just out of these simple things here. And I'll get into the details of the hours that this ran. The other thing is scratch-off technology or engagement. This is our office, and we often bring people in, and at the end, we give away some nice prizes. But it's always interesting to see the excitement, even with senior bankers, when they come in here looking to scratch off for a pair of headphones or a Sonos speaker or something like that. So we're doing a lot of this gamification in branches today with Promotional, whether it's grand opening events where people are scratching off for nice things, or it's, hey, you open a new account, hey, come on over here and get the opportunity to win certain prizes. What's nice about both of these kind of options that I just shared quickly is, at least on our end, we can also control the inventory. We can see exactly what's getting consumed by what branch, what location, and at least send you triggers that say, hey, geez, we started with 100 coffee mugs. We're going to give them out. You're down to 10. Would you like to continue the campaign or end it? And if the answer is end it, then that means we're going to automatically take the digital signage down as well. So we're not offering things that we can't give away or we don't have inventory for. So again, trying to make it very efficient and easy for our customers to be more effective with these items. The fourth bullet is client portals. And again, I'm sure some of you on this call right now have been ordering products for years, and you know kind of the amount of emails that go back and forth, and sometimes the frustration of lost an email, we didn't get confirmation on the proof, we didn't get confirmation on the amount of new products or things like that. So every one of our clients will get a custom portal. And again, in this little example here with Derigo, we have some little shops down below. You can see your new branch kit, executive kit, drinkware that they always have access to. But we also allow them to start their project. So certainly they can call Molly or email Molly or someone on her team to kind of kick off a project. But if they're busy and just want to let us know, hey guys, we've got an upcoming event in 2 months. Here's the rough budget ballpark. Here's the date of in hands, and here's some of the information. We can get started on collecting products and curating different gifts or things that they may look at. So it's a little head start. It also gives them a look back at every presentation we shared with them, every estimate, every sales order, every invoice, every proof. So they always have this at their fingertips. So if they want to go back and either look at something, check pricing on an old product, they need to reorder automatically to make it easier. A click of a button, it comes to us, and we kind of do the rest of the work. We certainly confirm everything, but it makes it really easy for them to maintain products, services, and look back on old orders as well. And so again, the all of the emails are captured. So when we talk about the proofing system, any dialogue back and forth, are we upping the order, making it smaller? Is someone else handling it? Everything gets funneled in, and there's no more lost emails and trying to track things down that were once easy to find. So again, these custom portals are wonderful. And we can also create additional kind of company stores or event stores in here as well. And the last one is Amplify Plus, and I'll be honest. Hopefully, I'm always honest, but we have not implemented this yet. So this is something on our roadmap, but we think it's pretty unique. And again, we're always trying to figure out how do we bring value to community banks and credit unions. And certainly, many of our customers, when we talk about their roadmap and what they're looking to do, it's attracting more small business, attracting commercial accounts. If you're a credit union, it might be your select employee groups, the SEGs, right? And some have small business accounts as well. But we started thinking, well, what would be real value to a true small business? If you have a small business and through the course of the year, they're purchasing $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, or even $2,000 of some type of promotional products. And when you put apparel into the mix, those numbers are not outrageous. But we're saying, why don't we offer those small businesses the same pricing that you'll get? So we want to extend our APA pricing, that end quantity pricing, courtesy of your institution to your small business or SEG-based clients. So you could very easily at the end of the year, when you're back making your sales calls or your business development reps are out there saying, geez, I noticed we saved you $4,000 last year on all of your promotional items or less or more. So it's certainly a positive. You're bringing real value to the organization. It's not just a few dollars a month on ATM fees. It could be a substantial dollar amount. And what we want to do, and again, this is just in theory right now, is when these are set up, is to have some sort of a co-branded email that would go out on a quarterly or 6-month basis to the account saying, hey, because of your relationship with XYZ Financial, you have been able to save X amount of dollars this quarter or half year on all of your merchandising and promotional items, a savings of 29 or 32 or 42%. So again, it's something that I have never seen done out there. It's a fairly easy process to implement. Yes, there's some due diligence and kind of meeting with these partners and sharing the story, but the back end is quite simple. So this is something we're excited about and we think can really bring value to a community bank and credit union versus the Wells, the Chase, the Truist, and all these big banks that certainly aren't going to even attempt this. And it creates value to bring those people back into your environment. So we're really excited about this, and there'll be more to come. And we may even do separate webinars or podcasting just on this specific topic here. So those are the 5 bullets that I think make us unique. Again, our customers don't have to use all of them. They can use 1 or 2, or as they get more sophisticated with their marketing, we can add those pieces in there. But I wanted to share a nice case study we did with our friends at Hawaii State Federal Credit Union. And again, this was a very, very simple campaign, but we had wonderful results. So we had designed and built out 4 in-store branches. You see one here at Kihei. These are in their Safeway supermarkets. And they range from about 290 square feet to just under 400 square feet. And so we wanted to make use of our digital signage and just to attract people to kind of register, to come in to win a prize. And so when we first opened it up, or we first launched this, we created a QR code, we created some digital signage, we created some paper-based signage. But the idea was as you were leaving the supermarket or during your visit in, scan the code, register to win this nice Yeti cooler. And what happened is we had in the course of the first 4 weeks, somewhere between 1,200 and 1,300 scans. And when they would scan it, this is the information we asked for. First name, last name, email, phone number, which branch they were at, and were they a current member of the credit union? And then the last question, which was not mandatory, was, is there a product or service that you're going to be considering that we can get you more information on? And really, to our surprise, of the 1,300 scans, well, first of all, 53% of those were current members. The other 47% were non-members yet. So we've got a database growing of people that could be members of the credit union. And of all the people that filled out the form of the 1,300, 75% filled out the fields, which included a product and service that they are then considering. And so when we looked at this, we needed to create beforehand, how are we going to follow up with them? So the right-hand side, the two smaller graphs basically show what items people were interested as their next product. And the way we set it up was if they were a current member of the credit union was responsible for reaching out via phone call, email, or seeing them in person, asking about that particular product or service and seeing if they could help them. The non-members, which obviously if they want a product or service have to become a member first, we handled that internally here at Element, where we set up an automatic drip campaign. So if they fell into that category, they received a series of emails over a period of time asking about their needs. Would they be willing to meet one of the member specialists? And we've been doing this now on and off for probably a year and a half or so. I'm looking over here at Chris, who's in the studio with me, and he's nodding. And I think it's safe to say we have either cross-sold or opened well into the hundreds, maybe 1,000 new accounts for them. And quite frankly, this is a very, very simple campaign to run. Yes, there's a little work on the back end with the data collection and managing the email campaigns, but again, not too difficult. And if you can even improve it, I would say, with using some of that in-branch touch experience or additional social media posts that come out from here, it would even be a little more robust. So I leave you with that, and I am going to, let me just click out of here for a moment. I'm going to shut this down for a second. And okay, you got me right, Chris. So that is kind of the bulk of our presentation here. So I wanted to share, I think we might have a couple questions, a Q&A. I'm going to look at these and see if anything came in. How do we sign up for APA? Is this for just one order or all the time? So anybody who's present here today, just so you know, you're automatically enrolled. And what that means is you'll be in our database. We use HubSpot CRM, and there'll be a note in there that you attended this webinar. So if you ever either we want to just test drive us, or you like the process and you'd like to be a regular customer in promotional products, you will always get that APA price or end quantity pricing, as we call it. So when we send estimates and things like that, you're still going to see the 4 or 5 columns. We're working on that, but know that you'll always get the least priced, even if you're buying the least amount of product, which is the way that works. So hopefully that answers your question. And I know we got one more. Do we have a website where we can view the products? As most of you know who've purchased promotional products, there's a lot of websites that have all the products, probably over 1 million products. We do not have a website dedicated to this as of yet. And one of the reasons, or one of the things that we're looking to do, is to work with the manufacturers so that as we create this site, we can grab the APIs to the products and the pricing so that we'll know if they're a community bank or credit union, they've gone to our webinar, or they signed up elsewhere, we're only going to represent the best pricing. So it can get confusing when you still come onto a site and you see, geez, I buy 100 and they're $10, or if I buy 2,000 and they're $6, am I really going to get the best price? So we're working to do that and be a little more efficient for our customers. But we, again, like the other program, we wanted to do it hopefully a little better than what we see out there today. So that is on our roadmap coming up. And I think that is it for right now. So what I'm going to do, and again, if there's any other questions, feel free to email me at any time, or our group here, but I'm going to flip this over to Molly, and Molly is going to select today's grand prize winner for the Yeti cooler of their choice. And then she'll send it back to me quickly. But Molly, I'm going to send it over to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nate. And hey, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Molly, and I am the brand extension specialist here at Amplifi. And I just wanted to remind you all that you're all winners in our eyes, and we will be shipping out these lovely gift boxes to you with a few of our favorites. And without further ado, I will get into the grand prize winner. All right, tap to start. And then scratching off. All right, Lindsay, you are our winner today, and we will be reaching out shortly to confirm your selection and get your address. And I will kick it back now to Nate in the studio. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Molly. And congratulations. So we will get that. Actually, Molly will follow up to make sure we have the proper shipping address, and we'll get you the cooler. I think you selected the number one cooler, the first cooler. So we'll verify that as well and get it out to you. Um, and for everybody else, those gift boxes should arrive sometime next week. So hopefully you enjoy them. I believe we will send a quick follow-up email at some point with just a couple quick questions, and would like to see if you like this format. Was this webinar worth your time? Are there things that you would like to see covered in the future? And all of those. The other thing, and the last thing I'll leave you with, is this studio that I'm in here, and we'll send a picture out. We're going to be doing a lot more different types of webinars for all the different services that we provide. But we're also going to be starting a podcast called the Bits Matter podcast in about 6 or 8 weeks. And it's going to be talking about the little differences that we can do as an organization or a bank or a credit union to make a big difference in the eyes of the consumer, the member, and how do we compete more strongly against the big banks using kind of retail tricks and things that are being done out there today. So that will be available, as well as anytime guests come in here. We've got a couple of clients coming in over the next 4 weeks. We're going to be doing a series of interviews, kind of 10 questions about financial services, current challenges, where they see the industry going, and solutions and things like that. So again, I want to thank you all very much for your time. We appreciate the support. If there's anything else you'd like to see or you'd like us to tackle or do, we'd be honored to hear it, and we'd love to do more of these. So thanks again and have a great day. Bye-bye.